Hello there, Maverick traders. This is Rob Reinhold. It is Thursday, December 14th, and we are at quad witching, the last options expiration of the year. What are we going to talk about in this video? Well, we're going to talk about the trading day. We're going to go through the news. We are right one day out of the FOMC meeting, and the market has had a big rally off of a pretty solid high base that it put in for the first part of December. So the question is, did anything change? We're going to take a look at the current market. We're going to take a look at the current sectors. And of course, we are always looking for trading setups. I've got a bull for you today. I've got a sideways trade, and I got a bearish trade even. Bearish trades are tough to find, so let's jump into it.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional stock and option traders. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
Let's look at the market numbers. Dow up about 0.5%, S&P 0.25%, the Q's up 0.2%. Look at that Russell. The Russell's got a lot of catch-up left to do. Even with the monster rally the Russell's had, it's still wildly underperforming the rest of the market. I'm pretty much flat on all the market indices from here, but the Russell, I still think the Russell has some ways to go. Oil had a nice bounce today, but this is after just weeks and weeks of selling to where it's under $70. So yes, oil had a big day today, but I don't think you need to make anything out of it. And gold continues to move steadily higher. What was the news today? Well, we got a gap up today. So we had a monster day yesterday. We get a gap up today and a doji. We're going to take a look at the chart in just a second, but there's no question that this market is likely pretty tired. We did hear from the European central banks, all three overnight. They all decided to keep the rate steady, but the Bank of England was a little bit more hawkish than people thought. And then another stellar retail sales report. This economy is not slowing down. I know the bears are saying, but it's coming, it's coming. They've been saying it forever. It's not here. It's not here. The advanced decline line, look at it. 3 stocks for advancing for every 1 declining. 80% above the 50 MA. Look, we've been very clear at Maverick. We are bullish. We've been bullish. The markets have told us to be bullish. The charts have told us to be bullish. Everything's told us to be bullish. The only way you'd be fighting this is if you didn't want to be bullish and you had some other reason to not be bullish. Here we have the chart. And again, this was just a really clear chart. Run, base, run, base, run, base. Okay, so we have made this big run out of the space. Now I want you to take a look at this move over here compared to a move like this and this. This move is what is called parabolic. This has gone parabolic. When things go parabolic up or down, they tend to come down the same way. This run is likely done, and if we take a look at where this market can pull back to, it can pull back to 4,600. That's 120 S&P points. That's 3%. This is still a very acceptable pullback in an uptrending market. I think this market rally is done, but think about where we're going, and again, where we are in the year. We just had quad witching. So this is where futures, options, contracts, they all expire 4 times a year. This is one of the times during the year where all 4 expire on the same Friday. That has no doubt added in some volatility to this week. There's no doubt that there's probably some short squeezes going on. Look, there's no doubt that it's all played into this moment. We're going to get through options expiration tomorrow. And then we are in the last 2 weeks of the year. What is likely to happen? The market has sprinted. The market has gone a very long way since the market low. And in fact, if we count it up, that's 4,100 to 4,700. That's 15% in 6 weeks. Now, if someone came to me and said, Rob, the market's been up for 15% in 6 weeks, what's the most likely thing to happen? Now, when I was a junior trader, a brand new trader, I probably would have said, oh, there's going to be a pullback. I do not believe that anymore. I've been around long enough. I just am going to say the market probably needs to take a break before it makes its next leg higher. That's typically what happens. So here we are. We just had quad witching. I think the next 2 weeks are going to be pretty flat. I think we've spent all of the energy to get up where we are. There could be little pullbacks here or there. I don't think there's a whole lot of gas left in the tank. Now, this is a little bit different than what I've been saying. I became very bullish back here in November, and I said, look, I don't care if you like it or not. We're above the 50-day moving average. You better get bullish. And it got better and better and better, and it culminated with this huge explosion this week. Again, I've been very bullish. I'm pulling it back. I'm not pulling back saying I'm bearish. All I'm saying is I think we're out of gas, and I think we have to build some energy before we go up again. If we take a look at the bond yields, take a look at that. We are below 4%. If you told me 6 weeks ago, Rob, we're going to be below 4%, I would have said, you're crazy. This move that has happened in the bond market is like 95% of the reason the stock market is higher. And here's the question. Are bond yields going to go back up? We heard from the Fed this week. They said no. There's 4 members on the committee that are looking for 100 basis points in rate cuts over the next year. That was a very dovish statement. So I think interest rates are going to go lower, or they're going to stay around 4. Either way, that is incredibly bullish for equities, and especially bullish for those small caps that got hurt on higher interest rates. The heat map doesn't really tell us much. I think we can just skip on from here. We have been at a +3 for the last couple weeks. Once that 50-period moving average started to slope up, we said, hey, look, we may not feel like it, but technically speaking, we have to get as bullish as we're allowed to get. And you can see just a huge move. Everything looks great. Did anything change on today's doji? No. All it did is tell me this last run is over. It doesn't mean we're falling apart. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that last run is over. We're out of gas. We likely need to take a break. Where we are at the end of the year, I just don't see any reason for a major pullback over the next 2 weeks. January, totally different story. But for the next 2 weeks, I think a lot of sideways trades are in order. Speaking of trades, let's take a look at some of the trades I've got for you today.
Have you been trading in the markets for at least 2 years? Are you starting to see some decent progress? Is that progress so small because of your limited account size? Maverick Trading is a prop firm that provides capital to profitable traders. You trade a minimum $25,000 account and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. After 2 consecutive profitable months, you move to a $50,000 account. As you keep progressing, you will be able to trade 6- and 7-figure accounts. To learn more about trading for Maverick Trading, either click on the Apply card in the top left, click Apply at the end screen, or click the link in the description to watch our recruiting video that explains more about Maverick and prop trading. If you like what you see, apply for a position and meet with our recruiters. Are you our next trader?
Definitely easier to find bulls than bears here. Sideways were even a little bit difficult to find. My favorite looking bear right now is surprising because it is in the energy sector, and the energy sector is a terrible sector. And this came up. So if you do want to get long energy, I think energy has probably bottomed out. I wouldn't say it's a great long, but look, this thing has been going up in the face of falling energy. We got a nice ascending triangle, a little breakout today. It did sink back down. This is where I love to do diagonal call spreads. I've got this $13 as a strike price. I could look to do a 12-13 diagonal call spread. If I've got to go out to January, I'm looking at like a 13-14 or maybe even like a 12.50-14, something around there on the bullish side. As far as sideways stocks go, came across Digital Realty. Now, Digital Realty is a real estate company. It's had a nice run. Interest rates have definitely helped this group out. And I really like this failure. We got this failure. It didn't even get to resistance. It failed before resistance here. Now look, this is a sideways trade. This is what I'm saying in this stock. This stock had a nice run. It failed to make new highs when the market made new highs. This one's probably not going to go anywhere for a while. And if I think the rest of the market's going to just sink back, then I think we've got to take a look at this one of just taking a break here. So the high of that area is 138. I'm going to go down to this 127 area. I want to be right in the middle of that, and we've got a nice little strike price there of 130. So I'm looking to do a 130 butterfly. So a 125, 130, 135 butterfly. So a little bit bearish here. Thinking he's going to drift down. 130 is the price I like on this one, on the butterfly side. I think you want to do a lot of sideways or slightly bull, slightly bearish. I don't think you want to get too far out over your skis over the next 2 weeks on either direction. On the short side, this is Hormel. Now, Hormel has not been going down. It's been stuck in this base. Now, remember, the market has been on a tear for the last 6 weeks. This stock has completely not participated whatsoever. And when we came up to moving averages and a resistance line, it failed miserably. Now, look, this is Hormel. This isn't an exciting stock. We're not in a market that I want to be aggressively bearish. So how do I want to get bearish this? Well, if there's dollar strikes, and sorry, I didn't check about this at first, but if there's dollar strikes, I want to do like a 31-33 bear call spread. We're right in the middle of it. So I'm just saying go down below 31 and I'll take my max gain and that's it. If they don't have that, then I think you want to go down to 30. Do like a 30-35 if that's all that's available. You're going to get about 220, maybe 230 in a credit and have about 270 of risk. But again, these are the kind of trades you want to make in this market. I don't like anything +2, +3. I don't like anything -2, -3. I think you want to be right near the middle here throughout the rest of the year. On Friday, we are looking at the end of this quad witching. So the S&P futures are going to expire, or the S&P options are going to expire in the morning, and the equity options are going to expire at the close on Friday. There's been a lot of energy expended. Think about it. If you do a 100-yard dash, what do you have to do before you can sprint again? You got to take a rest. The market has spent a lot of energy to get up to where we are. People are packing it in for the year. I don't think there's a whole lot left. We could have another % or 2 to the upside with some performance chasing, but I think that's about it. The idea that someone's going to come in and do a lot of selling at the end of this year, I think that fantasy has to be put to bed because people have been saying that for the last 3 weeks, and guess what? It's only gone up against that. So look, we might get a pullback, a % or 2. I think that's where we are. +2%, -2%, somewhere in that range. Empire Manufacturing tomorrow morning, and DR Horton as far as the stock goes. But like I said, we could get a little bit of energy tomorrow off of options expiration, but I'm really looking at the next 2 weeks being mostly flat. Hopefully that helps you. Everyone have a great day. Goodbye, everyone.